Alright, so at this point, I realized that I was being dumb. I went through and took out this entire half and then the bottom, and then applied a mirror modifier over here. I got X and Z on, so that all I'm really having to work on is just this section, and it just copies that to everything else. I don't have to worry about it, which is super nice. There's something strange going on with this vertice I just now noticed. What in the world? If you want to move vertices on just a single axis, which is what I want to do here, and just push that one that you want to move and scoot it. There we go. Alright, so fixed whatever happened there. I probably grabbed it when I was in X-ray or something. So yeah, now I only have to work on a quarter of it at a time. I don't really need those, so I'll just dissolve them. I just want to connect that to that, that to that. And if these are a little too high, we can just move them a little bit just to where they're not going to be in the way. There we go. So we don't have any overlaps. But yeah, now all we have to work on is just the one side. We don't have to put these gouges in the whole thing all the way around. The blender will do that for us, which is real nice. And of course, the ones around the back side too, there are only 4 back there, so we got this one giant panel. That is the way it's drawn, so that's what I'm doing. Now that giant panel goes to another ring with a ring. Something happened in there, I'm not sure, some kind of hatch. So we'll just drop in another ring here when we're ready to, but for right now I'm not going to worry about it. That's why I didn't care how it met up down here. So there you go, and then if you need to make any changes, like this isn't very round, there's like a weird scoop here. You just have to adjust the one vert and it does it all the way around for you, which is real nice. So there's certainly more stuff to add. Like if we, let's pick these up. So there's certainly more stuff to add, like the jaw, the mouth, the little iris fins, or whatever you call those things, of course the tentacles. We'll get to that. Still working on the body. For right now, though, I think we have reached a point where we can go ahead and smooth everything out. Now, you could smooth it out with the subdivision surface modifier. Problem is, it's going to crumple all your hard edges and stuff. We don't want that. So, I'm not going to use that. Basically, what that's doing, though, is it's just adding more lines, is all it's doing. You can do that yourself, which is exactly what we're going to do. Speaking of adding lines, this little gold border around here looks recessed to me, so we'll just use the knife tool to go ahead and connect a line all the way around. That'll give you a nice little border there. While you've got that tool out, go ahead and put your other lines for the part that's going to be sunken in to separate those panels. Just grab those lines and sink them in, and then kind of shift the vertices around individually if you need to. And use the bevel modifier to go ahead and make your bevels, just like on the other one. To make these stand out, we'll go ahead and select these big faces and extrude them. And then deselect the line on the middle of the big triangle, the upside down, whatever, and then bevel that. You want the bevels to go into the other bevels, basically. There we go. You might have to move the camera around and just play with the bevels. You can use Control Z if something's not right and just redo it real quick. For the iris section, we'll use the ring cut tool and put a little cut in there, just a little bit back from the edge. Those little pieces are kind of recessed in there. Figure out whereabouts your things are going to be, grab those vertices, or you can just grab faces, whichever method is going to work for you. Took me a little bit to figure out where the things were going to be, and then just go ahead and extrude them like we have been doing. To get that cool angle on there, all you got to do is click the verts and merge at last or first, whatever order you picked them in, to the one next to them, and that'll tilt it in for you. Just go ahead and do that all the way around. To do the teeth in here, I went ahead and did another ring cut and then grabbed those lines and twisted them inside there so that the faces are all twisted. Then grab as many teeth as I need to extract and then connect all the verts around it so it's got a lot more texture to it. And then just keep kind of scooting everything around until you get something that sort of resembles like a shark tooth meets a turbine blade. You can go over to the sculpting section and use the grab tool there. You do generally want the grab tool's size to be bigger than you would think it needs to be. You can just quickly adjust that by hitting F. Once you've got a shark tooth thing, go ahead and select all of its faces or verts and then copy that and make sure that everything's going to line up right. If it's not quite exact, go ahead and delete your copy and go back and tweak the one that you were messing with, the original one, till you get it looking better. Then you can do it again, copy it, and put it next to itself and see what it looks like. If it's matching the picture or whatever it is you're trying to do, then you're good to go. And you can go ahead and just make a whole bunch of copies of that and attach them to the inside of the ring. I just made two large faces and then bridged them together so it's all one thing. Double check the normals there to make sure I didn't mess something up. Took me a minute to figure out how to do this. It wasn't working just because the faces didn't have the same amount of vertices around them, but that's alright, I figured it out. And there you go. May not come out perfect, you might have to just give it a few little adjustments in sculpting. That's looking pretty good. So now just go ahead and select the faces where you're going to want the recess for the mouth and pull that in. We need a little tooth for the inside of the mouth, so I just grabbed the bottom one there and then copied it, or hit Control D to duplicate. Get rid of this little pointy thing so that I can fill this in. Get rid of any unnecessary extra beveling or anything that's on there. Now we can bring that over to where we want it and join it right on the same way we've been doing everything else. May have to adjust what you're joining it to so everything lines up. If it's too far off, it'll be kind of strange looking. Like, it'll still join together, but it'll have like a weird angle to it, and that's probably not what you want. So then we just go ahead and grab the entire back of this thing, scale it up a little bit, drag it around. We're just trying to add some mass to the back. When you're trying to select a bunch of tiny little faces like that, it helps to go inside the model in X-ray mode. And if you grab it and move it, something's not right, just right-click to undo that, and then select whatever else needs to come with what you're grabbing. You'll figure it out eventually. Just a few fine adjustments here and there. And we need to do the thing on the back. So we'll do that the same as we did the front. We'll just make the cylinders, turn them sideways, stick them in there, use the Boolean tool to cut out a hole. This back one has a central ring as well, so I just went ahead and made a smaller one of these things. And we just go ahead and join those together and get it all set up as one piece. This one has something that looks kind of like a fan blade, so just go ahead and select those and grab them and bring them out. Quick, easy, fake fan shape thing. And then we'll do the same thing we did before with the extra ring cut there. So that way after we join it, we can get rid of the wavy ones, and it'll be nice and straight. So for the jaw, just find where you want the jaw to be attached to the face. Go ahead and pull those, extrude those right on out. And then I separated that piece and mirrored it, so I only have to do the one side. Then it's just a whole bunch of adding rings and scooting stuff around, and the same thing we've been doing basically. My original plan with the jaw was to keep where it attaches to the face as close to where it started as possible. That way I could just merge the faces together. That ended up not really working out because the way this ended up being shaped in the end. So what I did is I used the Boolean modifier to just stuff the whole jaw into the thing and then union it. That worked out pretty well. Did make a little bit of a mess inside the model that had to be cleaned up though, so it's up to you depending on what you want to do. More work now or more work later. One good thing about doing it separate from the model itself is you can hide the model so that when you're trying to get that like back section to line up and stuff, you don't have that model in your way. I mean, you could always go X-ray, but it's still hard to see that way. So if you can just do it on its own and then, reattach it later, that always helps out. So for the teeth, we'll just use another cylinder, and then we'll grab the top edge of it and scale it down. Don't merge them into one vert or you won't be able to do ring cuts. And then do a bunch of ring cuts to give it more topography that you can mess with. And then just use the grab tool to kind of grab it and pull it around until you get something that looks like a tooth. For whatever reason, I started putting these on the right side, which is the fake side, I guess you could call it. It's the side that doesn't exist yet. It's only there because of the mirror. I ended up moving that to the other side, but that's basically all you got to do is just line all your teeth up and then use the Boolean modifier for union to make them part of the jaw. Need one big giant tooth here, and then a smaller one next to it. Might have to adjust the jaw a little bit to make everything fit. And then I remembered that the jaw has some of those panels and stuff on it too. So same thing, just go through with your knife tool and cut a bridge around the outside so you get your border and raise the faces and sink in the other parts, and you know how it works. For those smaller little spike teeth, they're basically just pyramids. So grab a cube and collapse the entire top ring into one vertex in the middle, and there you go, pyramid. Real quick and easy. And duplicated the one tooth. That's going to be for the top. Set it aside. Then just grab all the teeth and join them into one thing so that you can use the Boolean modifier to join them to the jaw.